Let's start. So I hope you can see me. It's a very sunny day here, so I'm not going to put extra light on. We'll start standing up. We did quite a lot of floor work in the last couple of days, so let's start standing up. Just gonna adjust my mat a little bit so I can be in the center of my mat. So let's just stand into our Tadasana. Tadasana is really not a stiff pose, so you have to feel steady, you have to feel stable, strong and relaxed. So there's a lot of duality words in here, but find your Tadasana. So imagine you have to stay here for 1 hour. That's basically the pose that we want to find, where you can stand for 1 hour without having to shift or move your body too much. So let's take just a few natural breaths. Arriving on your mat. And then turn the palms to the front. Open your hands. So you should feel a stretch in the palm of your hands. See if you can spread out your fingers. And then turn the palms back towards your body. And this time, bend into your wrists. So we're going to press the palms down, press the shoulders down. So don't hunch forward. So keep the shoulders back into your Tadasana, but press your hands down. And then let's turn the fingers forward, but still pressing the palms down so that bend into the wrists. And then release. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace your hands as you come up and then turn the palms up. Now, as you interlace, see if you can bring the thumbs together and really hold the fingers together. Sometimes it's starting to glide off, so really hold the fingers together and then inhale. Press your heels down, lift your kneecaps and wiggle yourself tall. Inhale, reach up. See if you can bring your arms a little bit more back. So it's not the head forward, it's the arms back. Inhale, exhale. And then slowly start to go over to one side. Doesn't matter which one. And opening up. So the upper arm is going to go towards the back and we're going to do a gentle twist, bring the upper armpits up towards the ceiling. And then coming back to the center and then doing the reverse. So lengthening the arms, keeping your body in line with your hips, but bring that top shoulder to the front and down. So opening into the shoulder blades here. And then coming back to center and then lifting up and exhaling, release. So we always interlace our fingers the same way. So can you do it a different way? Maybe you want to do it before you lift your arms. So do what you normally do and then bring the other thumb forward. And that's how we go. And then turn the palms, press the thumbs together, hold your fingers. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, most probably. So again, press your heels down, lift your kneecaps, wiggle yourself tall. And then go to the other side. So opening the side of your body, lengthening the arms, and then the top shoulder is gonna start to move back. So your chest is also rotating gently, but your belly stays where it is. And then coming back, and then going to the other side. So just your shoulder is moving down. Your belly stays, opening the shoulder blade, coming back to the center, and then lifting up and release. This time, bring the big toes together if your knees allow it. So if your knees are knocking when you bring the big toes together, then separate your feet a little bit. So let's bend the knees. So without really looking what you do with your hips, or just bend the knees, keep the heels onto the floor. So we want to bring the weight into the heels, but sometimes when we bend the knees, we bring more weight onto the toes. So here we're going to bring the weight into the heels. You can keep your hands on your thighs or on your hips, whatever is easier for you. And now bring the weight into your toes. So are you gripping your mat with your toes, or are you just bringing the weight forward? And then bring the weight back into your heels and go a little bit deeper. This time, your knees are going to move back. So as you move your knees back, most probably your upper body is going to start to come a little bit more forward. So move back, bend a little bit more. Can you lift your upper body a little bit more without curving in the lower back? So your spine remains very neutral. And then at your arms, you can bring your arms to the front, or you can bring your arms up, whatever works for you. So if your arms are up, watch out you don't close your chest. So if you feel that you're closing your chest, the trick is to bring the palms to the front, and that's going to open your shoulders. One more breath here, and then exhale, start to roll forward. So bring your belly onto your thighs, keep your knees bent, start to drop your head. Take a breath in. Maybe you can lengthen your legs a little bit, but keep your belly against your thigh. Now separate your feet just a little bit so they're at hip distance apart. And then we're going to take the peace fingers, so the index and the middle finger, and bring it around our big toe. The thumb can be on your big toe. So drop your head, bring your elbows to the side, and then make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears. So that's the first step. And then start to lengthen your legs, but keep your belly on your thighs. Drop your head, keep your belly on your thighs, hold on to your toe, press your toe into your fingers, and pull with your fingers at your big toe. So the big toe is not gonna get ripped off, don't worry. But really keep the shoulders away, lifting up with the hips. Keeping the belly onto the thighs. So it's really depending on how your back legs are, how far you're gonna go, how much you're gonna lift, lengthen the legs. And then exhale, come back into your chair, let go of your thighs, and inhale all the way up. Exhale. Ooh, that's a good one. For me, it is a good one. So bring the hands onto the hips, separate the feet. So you don't want to go too wide. And we're just going to bend one knee and then the other knee. So just keeping the feet light. So don't block the knees. Don't start to move too much forward. Keep your upper body in line with your hips. So just move from side to side. And then you can even start to lift your toes. And then coming back to center. Bring the heels in so that the toes point out. So stay here for a moment. We're going to come into cactus arms. So cactus arms is where the elbows are at the height of the shoulders. Roll the shoulders back. Press your elbows back. And bring the upper arm a little bit more back. So as you press the elbows back, you're going to feel your shoulder blades coming together. So now see if you can press your elbows forward and your shoulder blades down. So separating, so not like this. We're just separating the shoulder blades, rolling them down and pressing the elbows forward, but the forearms are still going back. And now bend your knees, make sure that your knees go in the direction of your toes. So maybe you need to adjust your toes. So bend your knees, coming into goddess pose. And then inhale, reach up the arms, stretch the legs, really press into your feet. Exhale, inhale. Moving with your breath here, coming back to that cactus. My fingers are really stretched out as well. I feel that my whole body is working. And then inhale. This time we're going to grab something on the floor. So with a straight back, so bending from the hip crease. Maybe you don't get all the way to the floor, that's okay. And then press into your feet and come back up. 2 more times like this. And then reach up and bring the hands onto the hips. Turn the left foot towards the side of your mat, the long side, and turn the right foot towards the short side of the mat. So we're in a very short position for warrior 2. And we're just gonna bend the knee, the front knee. So the right knee is just gonna bend. You can go over your heel. Just bend and come back up. So all the work is done with your right leg here. Your left leg is just following. And now keep the knee bent. Sorry. Keep the knee bent. Open your shoulders, open your arms. Push a little bit more back so that your knee comes above your heel. So we're not in a full warrior 2. But you're gonna feel that you might have to work a little bit more here because we're not leaning into the pose. And then bring the hands back onto the hips and change sides. So right toes towards the long side, left toes towards the short side, hips parallel with the side, hands onto the hips, and then start to bend a few times. So we're working in the left hip here. The right leg just follows. And then coming with your bent knee, so don't go too far. Open the arms, press your front foot down, press the outside of your back foot down. Open your arms, open your chest, roll the shoulder blades down. And then slowly come up. Both feet pointing forward. Roll the shoulders back, elbows back, bring the hands into the hip crease, the fingers into the hip crease, and then with a straight back, go down. So my elbows are really pointing towards the sky. You can look forward, you can look down. Press with your hands into your hip crease so that your hips are moving back. Inhale, open that chest. Come with the weight onto your toes. So most probably onto the ball mount of your toes. So move a little bit forward. And then come with the weight into your hips. So move a little bit more back. So that shift in between the two and then finding the center. Take your hands and now glide your hands down on your legs. Keep your spine straight for now. So lengthen your neck so that your neck is in line with the spine. And then grab your legs wherever you can. So don't pull on the knees, please. If you have to hold on to the height of the knees, bring your hands behind your thighs. You can go towards your ankles and then start to bring your head down. See if you can keep that spine neutral. So if you feel that you're starting to drop your head and your spine, pull onto your legs, maybe come a little bit higher, straight spine. And now from here, take your right hand and bring it where your left hand is. So I'm holding my left leg with my right hand. I'm bringing my hips back to the center. Place my left hand on my lower back, the palm down. And I'm going to inhale and again, lengthen my spine. And we're going into a rotation. So For rotations, we need a lot of space into the spine. And then start to pull onto your left leg, bringing the left shoulder towards the sky. You can lift your left arm up or you can keep it on your lower back, whatever works for you. Strong legs, long spine, and breathe. And then slowly coming back to center, placing both hands onto each leg again, lengthen the spine, and then bring the left hand towards your right leg. So bring the right hand on your lower back, lengthen your spine, so adjust your left hand if you need to, and then start to open up. So this is a twist that happens mostly in the center of our spine, which is quite difficult to reach. So that's probably that you feel like, why can't I go further? So see where you reach. And then slowly coming back to center, placing both your hands down, and now walk your feet a little bit closer. Keep the toes out and come into the frog. So your toes are pointing out, your spine is free to move. Like there is no weight on, you're not sitting, so there's no weight on your spine. Very good for your spine. Bring your hands down, and now bring your left hand in more in the center. Your left arm can rest against your inner left leg. And then open up towards the right. So again, a rotation, but this time it's more an opening in the chest. So press your left hand again, your left arm again against your left leg, and then open up. If you need to sit on a block for this, go for it. Or if you're on your toes and your heels don't touch, place something underneath. Bring the right hand down, position it so you can support yourself with your right leg, and then open up with the left. So reaching the left arm up, opening the chest, see if you can bring your shoulder a little bit more back, and then coming down. Press both hands on the floor, lift your heels, bring the heels behind the toes so that the knees are going to be happy again. And then come all the way up, bring your hands up to your hips, and come up. And shake it out. So let's come to the front of the mat. Come into your Tadasana again. Roll the shoulders back, elbows back. Why do I say elbows back? Shoulders back, shoulder blades down. Inhale, reach up. Lift, elongate your spine, and then bring the shoulder blades down. So automatically as we lift up the arms, our shoulders are going to move towards our ears. So we want to bring the shoulder blades back down to create space between the shoulders and the ears. Take a breath in here, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale. Hands onto your thighs, your tibia, or the floor, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Bring the right leg back. Come onto your toes. Don't bring the heel down. And then bring the knee down. Right hand underneath the right shoulder. Reach your left arm forward. So the palm is on the inside. We're going to go for 3 big circles with your arm. Inhale, as you come up, you turn the palm out. So do it the first time slowly and feel your shoulder opening up, your armpit opening up, and then come down. And as you come down, your palm turns inward again. Inhaling up. Exhaling. One more. Inhaling, you can follow your hand with your gaze. Exhaling. Bring the hand down next to your left foot, and this time open up. So we're going to exaggerate the movement. Open up the left arm towards the sky. So you can reach up and now see if you can go a little bit more to the back. You can drop your left knee towards the left. So come onto the outside of your left foot, opening up in the hips, opening up in the chest, in the shoulder. Sink into your right hip, but press into your right arm. Lots of things here. And breathe, of course. And then slowly coming back. Let's walk our hands back, press the toes down, and stretch out that front of our foot. For some people, it might stretch the back of the heel as well. It really depends on what is tight for you. Roll the shoulders back, see if you can lengthen your spine. And now lift your toes, come onto the back of your left heel, walk your hands maybe a little bit more back, and this time your left leg is super straight. So bring your kneecap towards your quads, activating everything here, opening the back of the leg. Your toes pointing a little bit more towards you, so flex your foot a little bit more. And then walk your hands back forward. Tuck your back toes and now come up. So we're placing our hands onto our thigh and exhale, letting go into the right hip. So opening the groin area. Staying here for 3 calm breaths. It should feel really good, especially if you're sitting a lot or if you do a lot of cross-country skiing. And then slowly bring the hands back, tucking your back toe, lift your back knee and come into your plank. So your plank, push your heels back, tailbone towards the heels, activate the core, press into your arms. Take a deep breath in and exhale, bring the knees down. Push yourself back. So you can stay onto your toes, push yourself back. And then we're gonna go into Cobra by gliding very close to the floor. So forearms are going down and I'm starting to pull on my arms. I'm gliding forward, I'm crawling forward. My forearms come up and I push myself up into my Cobra. And then exhale, tuck your toes and come into your first downward dogs. So do what you have to do to arrive in your downward dog. We've been practicing it quite in detail. So walking your legs, maybe opening the shoulder, lifting the hips, lengthening the spine. Inhale, exhale. And then slowly walk your feet towards your hands. And as you come forward, place your hands onto your thighs or your tibia, lengthen the spine, roll the shoulders back. Feel that length into your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Place the hands down. This time, bring your left foot back. Bring your left knee down. Left hand underneath the left shoulder and going for 3 big circles with your arm. So the movement is really in the shoulder socket here. So inhale, lift up, turn the palm out. Feel how your shoulder is opening, your shoulder blade is moving even more down and then coming down. 2 more. Inhaling, exhaling. And then placing the right hand on the outside of your right foot. And then this time we're gonna open up the arm. So lift the right arm, press into your left arm. Open up. So we're gonna open up the shoulder. And then if you wanna open up your hip, Bring your right knee out, come on the outside of your right foot and sink into your hips. So lots of stretching happening here. Are you holding somewhere? And holding, I mean, is like, no, I need to hold and then you have no control over the rest of your body anymore. So are you holding somewhere or can you let go into your hips a little bit more to allow your body to find more space in the opening of your chest? And then slowly coming back down. Walk your hands back, keep your toes onto the floor, press those toes down. If you can, lengthen your spine. So blocks here are always good to come a little bit higher. Inhale, exhale. And then lift the toes. Walk the hands back a little bit more. This time your right leg is really straight. See if you can lift your kneecap. Roll the shoulders back and again lengthening. Maybe you can walk your hands a little bit more forward. Maybe you need to go back. Depends on the back of your leg. Flex your foot a little bit more. And then slowly coming back forward. From here, place your hands onto your thighs and exhale, release. Release in the hips. 3 more breaths here. And then bring the hands down, tucking your back toe, and again going into plank. Find your plank, stay here for 2 breaths. And then bring the knees down, push yourself back, so lengthen your spine as if you want to start for your cobra. So bring the forearms down, crawl forward. So push into your hand, lift your forearms and come up into your cobra. Shoulders back, shoulders away from your ears. Inhale and then tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, walk your feet just a little bit to the front. So you're not into a downward dog. Your spine is most probably rounded. And then look forward. Separate your hands a little bit. Look forward and bring the right foot forward. Keep the left foot back. Again, lengthen your legs. So if this is too low for you, then bring your hands onto your hips or onto a chair. Lengthen your legs, lift the kneecaps, press the inside of your front foot into the floor and the back outside of your left foot into the floor. Lengthen your spine. Balance your hips so they're parallel with the front of the mat. And then start to lift your back heel, walk your hands a little bit more to the front, bend your front knee and lift your left leg up. So forward fold, so now you can round the spine, bring the toes slightly in, and then slowly bring the left foot back, place your hands down, and come back into your downward dog. So adjust your legs so you can come back into your downward dog. Roll the shoulders out, wide upper back, strong arms. Lift the heels up, walk a little bit forward. Come back into straight legs if you can. And then look forward, and this time bring the left foot forward, press the right heel down, left foot flat, hips parallel with the front of the mat. Lengthen your spine, find support if you need to go higher, otherwise come down. So stretching those hamstrings. Lift your back heel, bend your front knee, walk your hands just a little bit more forward, and then lift your right leg up. So very often we're gonna lift the toes out. So see if you can bring the toes a little bit more to the floor or even inward so that your hips remain balanced. And then we're gonna go towards our knee. You can bend, you can keep your supporting leg bent or you can stretch it out. And then very slowly bring the right leg, right foot next to the left. Bend your knees and inhale. Come all the way up. Exhale. And now standing here Tadasana, maybe close your eyes for a minute. Observe. Bring your hands onto your hips. And take a step back with your left leg. So we're going to go into warrior one. So walk your right foot maybe a little bit more out so that your hips can be parallel with the front of the mat. Your back foot is about 60 degrees. Roll the shoulders back, elbows back. And start to bend into your front knee. So this time, the front knee is not going to go over the front heel. So if you need a bit more space, adjust. And then lift your arms up or cactus. Really what works for you. Reach up. Maybe you want to go into a slight back bend, but watch out for that back leg. When you go into a back bend, you will have the tendency to push the tailbone forward. So forward meaning the whole basin here is moving forward. So press your back heel into the floor as you go down. Keep the hips parallel to the front of the mat, and you're gonna go back into your back bend from the upper back. And then slowly bring the arms down, interlace your hands. Again, roll the shoulders back. Lengthen your arms, open your chest. Shoulder blades are kissing. Strong legs here. Keep your front leg bent. Keep your back foot pressing into the floor. And going to the inside of our right leg. So reach your heart forward, reach your arms back. If you want, you can lift your arms up, but don't drop your shoulders. Inhale, exhale. And now release your hands. And again, we're going to go into a twist. This time, place your left hand on the floor. Lift your back heel and open up towards the side. So this time, twist without being on our knee. Maybe you feel a little bit more freedom. And then slowly coming back. Walk your hands towards the center. Bring the feet pointing towards the long side of your mat. And this time, walk your hands a little bit more forward. So watch out that you have some grip. So your feet and wide toes are slightly pointing in. And our leg, it's a very wide-legged dog. So press your hands down. Your hands are as wide as your shoulder. Start to lengthen your spine as if you were in downward dog. Your head is moving between your arms. I'm more on the outside of my feet than on the inside. I feel my hips opening in the back especially. And I'm pulling, if I have a grip onto the floor, I'm going to pull my hips back. Rolling the shoulders out. And then walk your hands back under your face. Walk your hands towards the left. Turn the left foot towards the short side and the right foot for your warrior one. Come up into your warrior one. Adjust your feet. If your step might be too big, too short, make sure it's wide enough so your hips can remain parallel with the front of the mat. Press your back heel into the floor. Press the Ball of your big toe into the floor at the front. And then start to lift your arms up. If you want to go into a gentle back bend, start from the upper back. Bring the tailbone down so your hips don't push forward too much. So tailbone goes down to create that space into the lower back, and then lengthen your back leg by pressing the heel down a little bit more. Can you still breathe? And then release the arms, interlacing the back. Roll the shoulders back, lengthen your spine, and slowly come to the front on the inside of your left leg. Reach your heart forward. So even if you're much higher, make sure your spine is straight. Pressing into my back leg. And then release your hands. And come. And come into, sorry, I forgot what we were doing. Come, bring your right hand down, and then we're gonna open up. So you can lift your back heel, open up. Maybe you can bend your front knee a little bit more. And that's really a habit, because usually when I do this sequence, I'm going into my forward fold here with the leg up. But since we already done that, I knew it was not that I was looking for. So reach up, press into your hand. And then slowly coming back. And this time bring your left leg back. And bring your knees down. And come into your child's pose. So bring the arms back. Drop your head. Maybe you want to separate your knees a little bit. And then slowly bring your hands to the front, and let's come onto our knees. So I want to give a stretch to my toes. How long you want to stay in that position is really going to be up to you. So tuck your toes, make sure the little toe comes with you, and then sit onto your heels. In the meantime, we're going to do eagle pose with the arms. So open your arms. Roll the shoulders back, elbows back. So if your toes become too much, just come out of it and continue with eagle pose. Bring the right arm underneath the left. And then see if you can keep your elbows together and lift your forearms up. If you cannot interlace your arms or interlace your hands, then hug your shoulder blades and open up your back. So inhale, make sure your core is active, don't sink all the way. Your toes are going to be really unhappy if you sink your whole body onto them. So hold up a little bit. Inhale, maybe lift your shoulders, your elbows a little bit more, roll the shoulders back if you can. Breathe. And then release the arms. Bring your hands to the front and gently tap your toes onto the mat, just to release them. So I leave it up to you if you want to do it again with your toes, as we do the other side with eagle arms. So if you do with your toes, make sure that little toe comes forward. It knows what it's up to. So reach out your arms. And this time, left under right. And then see if you can interlace your hands. So it's not about something like this. If you don't want to have a bend into the wrist. Keep your wrist straight, keep your elbows on top of each other if you cannot interlace. Or give a hug to your shoulder blades. It's about opening the upper back. So if there's a lot of stress and we're hunching forward as we're on the computer all day, this is a very, very good stretch. Just do it for a couple of breaths every hour or so, and you're going to really feel a difference. And in the meantime, we're distracted from our toes. And then release, bring the hands back forward, and again, gently tap your toes. So let's turn to the long side or the short side of your mat and open your legs for a last stretch. So toes up, fingers in the back, fingers pointing back, roll the shoulders back, stretch out your legs so much that maybe your heels are gonna lift because your calf muscles are so much pushing into the floor. So your calf muscles push down, your thighs are pushing down, my groin is falling back, roll the shoulders back. So strong legs here, and then see if you can, from your hip crease, move forward just a little bit. Keep those toes active. The whole leg remains active. And then your choice. Hands onto the legs, maybe grabbing the big toe, or to the front, depending on how far you can go with your inner thighs. So if you're holding on to your toes, roll the shoulders back, or if you're holding on to your legs. So roll the shoulders back, lengthen the spine. Keep on breathing. And then slowly release, this time roll, let your head fall round the spine. No pain in the lower back, absolutely not, but keep your legs active. And then slowly coming back up. Place your hands back in the back and bring your legs closer to each other and then just shake them out. From here, let's bring your hands underneath our thighs, roll the shoulders back and just incline ourselves a little bit. So keeping the hands underneath the thigh, you can lift one leg, you can lift the other. This is a hard one for me because my tailbone is not straight, so I cannot balance, but make sure your spine remains straight, your chest is open. If you want to go further, maybe you want to open your arms, maybe you want to stretch out your legs. If you roll back, just smile. And then we're all gonna roll back and bring the knees into the chest. Maybe you want to just move gently from side to side, opening the arms for balancing, and just moving your knees from side to side, or whatever movement you would like to do. If you would want to go into happy baby, or just stretch out your legs a few times. This is a short practice, I find 45 minutes, but it's better than 0. And now cross your ankles on top of each other. The right ankle is on top of the left. Lift your chest, lift your head, and grab the outside of your feet. And then pull your legs, pull your knees in, bring your head and your shoulders back down. And then lift again your head and your shoulders. Change side, grab your feet. So don't let your feet glide up. We want to keep the ankles on top of each other. And then come back down and then bring your knees closer. And then release. And very short Shavasana, or a long one if you want. So take a breath in and release, release, release everything in your body, your mind. And then bring the legs back together. Maybe flex your feet, open your toes, curl your toes, open your feet towards the side. Bring your feet back up, open your hands, close the hands, Move the wrists. And then inhale, reach the arms up. Press your heels away. Toes are up. And exhale, stretch yourself out. So arms back, toes pointed. You can hold onto your hands, stretch yourself out. Take a breath in and exhale, bring the knees in. Roll over to your right side, bring your right hand underneath your head. And then gently moving into seated position. Tuck your chin. Don't drop your head. It's just a gentle tuck of the chin. It's very calming for the frontal lobe of our brain. It's also a sign of humility, and you will feel it. Then bring your hands in front of your heart in any way that works for you in this moment. I wish you a wonderful day and thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.